yesterday everything was all right. When is next? Okay. To retain that. Right. You said the title.
Yes. Okay.
Controlling the controllers. In fact, this lecture is a real reflection of what I have passed through the 27 years of my work in the Ministry of Health. But I am looking at it from a different, positive angle. All the events and the accidents or drug cases that happen, how we use it to renew or to update or to renovate our system in Jordan. Yeah. So how can we guarantee the patient's safety? It's by eliminating such deviations. I noticed many deviations or malpractices that took place in the system. So that's why I wanted to discuss each one separately. So the main solution to such major problem is to initiate applicable rules and regulations, then to ensure the proper implementation in different managerial levels. In addition, there should be high emphasis on job description for each managerial level and for each expert specialty. The method, as I said, is reflection of all what I have faced during all these years, from 1978 to 2006, and how we improved and updated and reformed our system in the Ministry of Health. So by exhibiting cases and facts, and then how we update our rules and regulations. The first example, do you hear me? The first example is the drug case. The drug case took place in 1986, 1987, and very briefly, at that time, in 1985, I was the Director of Drug Quality Control and Research and Director of Drug Quality Control, and 2 reports we issued under my supervision about 2 drugs. One was ampoules, injectable ampoules, and the other was infusion. The injectable ampoules were having particulate contamination, while the infusion having pyrogen. So they failed the specifications and they should be withdrawn and destroyed. This recommendation was faced by an opposition that was unbelievable from all forces, inside and outside. The representative of the drugs and in the ministry itself. And they said, you are causing a lot of headache for us, although the solution was to withdraw, as simple as that, to withdraw the drugs and destroy them, to protect our patients from receiving faulty or dangerous drugs. But this didn't happen. But what happened, they removed me from the laboratory. They put me in somewhere else in the ministry. Nothing to do with my specialty, because at that time I used to have my master's degree in quality control and quality assurance. But I said I will not keep quiet. So I took the samples. Of course, there are 2 colleagues here. One of them I will mention, who helped me in getting the samples, Dr. Sana Shashir, and there is another one in the ministry, but I don't want to mention her name, otherwise they will harm her. So I took the samples and flew with the support of my parents, God bless their souls. They told me, do what is right. So I took the samples and went to the WHO, recommended laboratory, and they supported the report. Then, after that, I flew immediately to London, to the same company that produces the drug, and I gave them the samples, and they supported. They gave me a written apology that this batch failed the specification. I came back to Jordan, and I raised the case in the court, in the Supreme Court, and I won the case. Even the lawyer said, God bless his soul, he said, your case is a national case, I will not charge you a penny. So, this is an example that the specialist was doing the right thing, but was faced with an opposition. Then many changes took place. New minister, new director, new deputy, and they asked me to set new rules and regulations for the drug quality control laboratory and to establish a new follow-up department, because at the beginning there was no follow-up for all the reports that were issued from the laboratory, to know what's going on, not just to issue the quality control report. And there should be an independent legal body to protect employees in case they face such a problem. At that time there wasn't, but now there is. You know its name. I mean, now there is an independent body. Any employee that faces such opposition and such war against the person because the person is doing the proper work, this person could go to that independent body and complain, and they can take his right. Another example, replacing the qualified responsible person from the proper position, as what happened with the quality control lab. I mean, I've mentioned this. Now, concerning timing, may I ask you, 20 minutes or more, otherwise I have to make it short.
Yeah.
10 minutes?
No, it's like 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
15 to
So I will concentrate on certain cases. Sometimes there used to be cancelling and eliminating the position of the head of the quality control committee because the qualified person was working on creating sensitive articles for new drug regulations and control. So what is the recommendation? Establish new employment code, the right specialized expert in the right position. Unbiased independent court orders should be established as reference. Sometimes skipping the responsible specialist when giving approval to certain drug products. This happened in the past in 1989, 1993. This is administrative malpractice. So what is the recommendation? Establish a new job description and enforcing its implementation. Skipping the responsible official expert when giving approval to newly established drug manufacturing company. This happened, I will talk about it very quickly. At that day, all the department disappeared. So I was astonished what's going on. I knew that there is a newly established drug company that is going to open and start producing the products, but they need their final approval. So everybody went and visited that company, except me. I wasn't informed, knowing I should be one of the responsible experts who should visit the company. But luckily, at that time, the minister was respecting my opinion, so I immediately reported to the minister that this should happen. I mean, I should be there. So the minister ordered that no decision should be taken unless I visit the company and give my report. And I did that, and I discovered many defects that should be corrected before the drug company could open and start production. And this happened, and it was delayed for 6 months. Skipping the specialists for attending specialized scientific conferences, this happened a lot. Only approaching the specialized expert, this happened, official, when there is a special misunderstanding or conflict between the general director and the drug company. So, because he knows that this specialist can pick up the major defects in any drug, so he approaches the specialist so as to get what he wants. So this is non-ethical, managerial, technical, scientific malpractice. Enforcement, experts, job description, this should be the case. Not only in certain times, but always. Eliminating the membership of the presence of highly qualified specialists from being an official member in the drug approval committee. Again, this is administrative, managerial malpractice. New recommendation, establishment of new employment code for specialists to be allocated in the right position according to their qualifications, and enforcing job description. Replacing the qualified head of drug committee with a general practitioner who doesn't know anything about drug quality control, rules and regulations. So this is managerial administrative malpractice. This happened in 1999. So again, new rules should be set to put the right person in the right position. Adopting the resolutions and council paper presented by the qualified person to establish the institute, then cancelling the presence of this qualified person and allocating a position disposition to general physician who has nothing to do with quality control, managerial, administrative, non-ethical practice. Delay in withdrawal of certain drugs that have been proven internationally to be fatal until the drug representative could sell the available stocks in the stores. Non-ethical, scientific, managerial malpractice. So what should be the case? To establish new regulations that requires immediate implementation of drug quality control laboratory reports, recommended actions, using the media for public alert messages, so as to stop the public from using such medications, and empowerment of the inspection department that should be supported with larger number of well-trained inspectors, pharmacists, applying appropriate penalties and enforcing time limits. Confusing the drug quality control laboratory by submitting different samples of the same failed batch after the delay in implementing the first quality control report recommendations. This happened. They sorted out the good and the bad and then presented again a sample of the same batch, and the first time it failed, the second time it passed. But we stopped it. So the rule, sampling team should consist of 3 governmental inspectors from the Ministry of Health Inspection Department, and shouldn't be left to the drug representative to send their samples. And of course, computerized database should be established and feedback of quality control actions. Giving presents to employees, we used to see it and we used to refuse it, and we used to set standards for and regulations to stop what's called mass bribery. Inviting some doctors and pharmacists to certain trips under the excuse of giving promotional, non-scientific lectures and seminars for certain drugs. Establish new rules and regulations that will define all types of mass bribery and indicate actions, controls, fines, and penalties to be implemented. Presenting studies that are very superficial and faulty regarding safety and uncompleted phases of clinical trials, aiming for the approval of certain medicinal products, non-ethical scientific malpractice. So we have to change the rules and regulations. Trying to test certain new drugs and vaccines which are not approved in the country of origin and which did not achieve the 4 phases of clinical trials on volunteers of other countries that lack strict regulations and are not aware of such dangers as in some African and Far East countries and other countries. Non-ethical malpractice. So we have to change our rules and regulations concerning clinical trials. Results. The results of such malpractices are wrong decisions towards approval of certain medications and drugs and drug manufacturing companies. Consequently, the patients will have more complications because of substandard quality medications, and the government will spend more money on insured patients by buying more medications in order to treat not only the original disease, but also the complications resulting from faulty medications. Furthermore, impact on different managerial levels of employees are dissatisfaction, especially the highly qualified employees, because they are not allocated the right positions to work within their specialization to achieve their tasks. Solutions. Radical solutions are needed. New rules and regulations regarding enforcement of job description, including qualifications suitability, should be established to overcome each of the mentioned obstacles that we have presented. This requires the initiation of several meetings for different managerial levels to discuss the details of each required vital step in the different procedures. Furthermore, there is a major need for establishment of an independent reference body to receive complaints, to have serious actions to stop different malpractices. Patient safety could not be achieved without major reforms in the managerial administrative regulatory system, which will enforce the radical changes in the quality of behavioral ethics. There should be an independent body, as I have said. There should be new rules and regulations that protect the employees when they report any discovered practices without being exposed to any negative actions, and they only, to guarantee the safety of the patients. In order to make a drastic change in the system, the radical reform took place in Jordan as a result of implementing the successfully my PhD thesis for the new Jordanian drug quality system, which was considered a benchmark with the establishment of the new Jordanian Institute of Pharmaceutical Affairs, which since 2003 was called the JA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Badran. Now our next speaker is Dr. Qusay Shahid. He will talk about determinants and the frequency of pharmaceutical compounding in pharmacy practice in Palestine. Dr. Qusay, he's from Palestine, as I said. He graduated from Jordan University of Science and Technology in 2007, getting his bachelor degree, and then he got his master's degree in clinical pharmacy at Al-Najah University in Nablus, Palestine, and he's currently working in the Central Drugstore French project for rational use of drug at Al-Najah University, and also he's working in Al-Rahma Polyclinic Pharmacy Department from 2009 till now. He also has many publications related to pharmacy and medical aspects.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Good evening. I would like, first I would like to thank Zaytun University to host this conference. I will talk about the interesting topic related to pharmacists, which is the determinants and frequency of pharmaceutical compounding in pharmacy practice in Palestine. This study was published in International Clinical Pharmacy Practice in 2011. So, the definition of pharmaceutical compounding. Pharmaceutical compounding is defined as the combining, mixing, or altering of ingredients to provide a customized medication for individual patient required by a licensed practitioner. Physicians may prescribe medication requiring compounding for a patient with her special health needs. Also, pharmacists providing compounding services which may assist patients and physicians by providing compounding services which can helpful in designing and implementation of therapeutic approach plan. Why do we need pharmaceutical compounding? Pharmaceutical products or medication that require compounding for patient-specific situation and can contribute to patient-tailored pharmacotherapy plan. For example, a product that is needed, which is commercial, is not available. Also, special dosage form is required for infants and children. Also, medication require allergen-free preservatives, also preservatives-free medication. Children may require adding flavoring to liquid dosage form, and combination medications in pills or one tablet, which will increase patient compliance. The aims and goals of the study to determine the excellence of prescription compounding by community pharmacists in the West Bank, to identify factors that may affect the decisions of pharmacists to compounding, also to evaluate of physicians' perspectives on prescribing medications that require compounding. Materials and methods. This study was a cross-sectional descriptive survey was administered face-to-face structured interview with randomly selected pharmacists and physicians in 11 districts of the West Bank. This study was conducted between December 2009 and May 2010. Also, this study was consisted of 2 stages as a pre-hoc design. The first stage, the pharmacists were interviewed, and the second stage, the physicians were interviewed. This questionnaire was modified from the one used by McPherson et al. In a similar study in the United States of America. After collection and gathering of filled forms, the data were entered into SPSS. The results were divided into 2 main responses. The first one, which is pharmacist response. As we see in this slide shows pharmacist demographics, which represents by 212 pharmacists. Also divided into gender, scientific degree of pharmacist, age, population of pharmacy serves. So, now pharmacists also divided into 2 categories. The first one, which is compounders, and the second one, which is non-compounders. Compounders' reasons for providing compounding services, which represents by 153 of pharmacists. Here, the pharmacists were asked to rank the 3 most important reasons for providing compounding services. Among providers, they said they want to provide full pharmaceutical care to patients. And the second important reason, which is compounding, is a factor that reinforces trust between patients and pharmacists. While I enjoy compounding, is the third most common reason for providing compounding services. The second approach of pharmacist responses, which is non-compounders, also we ask pharmacists to rank the 3 most common reasons for not providing compounding services. I don't receive prescriptions that require compounding is the most reason. Also, the required equipment or supplies are not available in my pharmacist. Ministry of Health discourages compounds. The second part of results, which is physicians' responses, also physicians' demographics, such as gender, specialty, as GP, dermatologist, gastroenterologist, interest, and work, either private hospital or private clinic, and doses for that may be prescribed by physicians, such as topical preparations, oral solutions, oral suspensions, tablet, capsule, and sterile solution. Also, the results of physician responses divided into 2 categories. The first one, which is physicians' reasons for prescribing medications. The second one, which is physicians that not prescribing medications that require compounding. Also, we ask physicians to rank the 3 most important reasons for prescribing medications that require compounding. Most of them said that dosage form is not commercially available. The second and the third reasons were prepare pediatric dose from other dose, and strength is not commercially available. The second part, or the second approach of physicians' reasons for not prescribing medications, they said that lack of trust in the quality of the compounded formulation. Compounded formulation have poor patient compliance, and Ministry of Health does not allow compounded formulation. As a conclusion in our study, most responding pharmacists provide a compounding service but a low prescription volume. most responding physicians do not prescribe medications that require compounding because they lack in the quality of the trust in the quality of the compounded formulation and regulation. We need regulations that cover compounding practice are needed to ensure good quality and safety of compounded products. Compounding as worldwide, globally, there are 2 studies published in the United States and Germany that represents 2.3% in the United States of percentage of compounding prescriptions per month, and also in Germany 3.4% of compounding per month. As we see in Palestine, the results was 1.55%. We conclude that compounding is a measure, but is not prevalent in Palestine, such as in United States and Germany or other parts in the world. This is some of pictures of Najah National University, as we see. Finally, our team in this work, me, Qusay Shahid, my colleague Dr. Bilal Saleh, Dr. Abdel Nasser Zaid, Dr. Rawa Ramahi, and Dr. Josephine Araj. Many thanks, and any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Qusay. Now our next speaker is Dr. Ahmed Al-Rusasi. He will talk about job satisfaction amongst Jordanian pharmacists working in the community sectors. Dr. Al-Rusasi, he was graduated from Jordan University of Science and Technology, getting his bachelor degree, and now he's currently working as a drug information consultant with Al-Noor drug store, and also as a trainer with Jordan Pharmacist Association. He earned 5 specialists in pharmacy practice, and also he got the Distinguished Pharmacy Practice Award and the Best Pharmacist Technician Team Award in 2004 in Canada. So, did you get your presentation?
الله يمسيك بالخير. أنا قلت ألحق حالي شوي قبل ما يطلع كلهم. فبدي أعمل المحاضرة على السريع، لأن شايف إنه واحد صار يكون المحاضرة. على العموم مش راح أطول عليكم. عشان أعرف إذا بدي أعملها بيور إنجلش ولا بيور عربي. الجميع هون بيحكي عربي؟
عربي.
طيب ممتاز. طيب. خليني احكي شوي عن الاستادي اللي عملناها هذه. طبعا انا صح انا خبرتي معظمها في كندا، بس لما جيت هون بالعام 2008 حاولت طبعا انخرط بالنقابه قدر الامكان حتى اطلع على وضع الصيادله في الاردن. تبادر لذهني حقيقه انه ممكن الصيادله ما يكونوا في المستوى اللي وجدته في كندا من خلال الفارماسي براكتس، من خلال وجودي في كندا والاشياء اللي عملتها والاشياء اللي كنت طبقتها في كندا. ايضا بالتعاون مع الجي بي بي الجود فارماسي براكتس كوميتي في الجوردن فارماسي اسوسيشن وجدنا انه في عندنا تيرن اوفر كثير للصيادله اللي هو بيتوظفوا بالصيدليه الكوميونتي فارماسيست او الكوميونتي فارماسي ما بصدقوا الا انهم يشتركين، بروحوا يشتغلوا في البيج مانيفاكتشر فارماسيوتيكال مانيفاكتشر او بيج اورجنايزيشن. ايضا عزوف كثير من الفريشلي جراجويتس في كليات الصيدله عن العمل في صيدلات المجتمع. هذا حقيقه خلى عندنا ايش؟ انه يعطينا دافع ان نعمل دراسه على اساس نشوف هل انه يا ترى الصيدلي العامل وليس الصيدلي المالك لصيدليه المجتمع، هل هو مبسوط في شغله ولا مش مبسوط؟ طبعا هون احنا بنحكي عن job satisfaction، we are not talking about career satisfaction. انا ما بحكي لكم انه نروح على الصيدلي اللي بيشتغل في صيدله المجتمع نساله هل انت مبسوط كصيدلي؟ لا، انا بساله هل انت مبسوط بشغلك في العمل في صيدليه المجتمع؟ فاحنا we are talking about job satisfaction among pharmacists who are working, not the owners of the pharmacy, who are working in the community pharmacy. طبعا جامعة الزيتوني مش ما فيش معها مصاري يشتروا المايكروسوفت اوفيس. طيب فاحنا هلا when we are talking about job satisfaction لما بدي اسال اي واحد انت مبسوط في عملك؟ الجواب بده يكون واضح، يا اما مبسوط او مش مبسوط. فاحنا حقيقه هي الجوب satisfaction when somebody truly or faithfully or sincerely say that I'm very happy in my job or what I'm doing. فهي it's a combination of either psychological, physiological or environmental factors that really make somebody say I'm very satisfied in my job. طبعا شو اللي عملنا احنا بالاستدي؟ وظفنا مجموعه من الطلاب كمساعده للطلاب من بعض الجامعات، اعطيناهم حوالي 400 كويشنير. الكويشنير راحوا على different geographical areas in Jordan. ولما بحكي different geographical areas حتى بما فيها العقبه، فعملنا توزيع منتظم حقيقه. حتى عمان ما ركزنا على منطقة واحدة في عمان، ركزنا على مناطق عمان جميعا حتى تكون العينة اللي احنا بندرسها عينة تقريبا تكون عينة مثالية وتكون ريبريزنتيف. ايش اللي بدنا ندرسه بهذه الاستدي؟ بدنا ندرس الحقيقة، رجعت انا لدراسات قديمة انعملت في هذا الموضوع، فوجدت انه معظم الدراسات اللي عملت حوالين هذا الموضوع كانت تدرس ما يعرف هيرزبرغ's two factors methods. ايش هم هذول؟ في عندنا الموتيفيترز وفي عندنا الهايجين. الموتيفيترز من اسمهم هم اللي بيعطوا give position satisfaction اللي هم challenge work او recognition او responsibilities. الجزء الثاني اللي هو الهايجين factors that do not give positive satisfaction مثل الستاتس اللي هو مدير مش مدير، الجوب سكيورتي. when we are talking about job security ما بنحكي احنا قديش الواحد سكيور بالجوب، انه ما في مثلا واحد راح يدخل مثلا على الصيدليه مثلا يعمل له رابري او يهدده بالمسدس، احنا بنحكي عن جوب سكيورتي انه قديش الفارماسيست سكيور انه الجوب تبعته مش يجي عليه الصيدلي الاونر ثاني يقول له مع السلامه روح انا ما بديش اياك بالشغل انيمور. فهذا المثال تبع جوب سكيورتي، السالري والبنفيتس والورك كونديشنز. كيف عملنا الكويشنير؟ طبعا وزعنا الكويشنيرز، اتبعنا ما يعرف اللي هو يعرف عالميا بالليكرت سكيل ريتنجز. فبدانا بال سترونجلي ديساجري، بعدين ديساجري، بعدين نيوترال، بعدين اجري، بعدين سترونجلي اجري. بعد هيك لما اجتنا الكويشنيرز عملنا لهم على الاس بي اس اس وعلى المايكروسوفت اكسل وحللنا النتائج. هلا بس قبل ما نعرف شو الاشياء اللي درسناها بدنا نتحدث عن الاشياء اللي هي درسنا عنها، انه شو الاشياء اللي ممكن تاثر على الجوب ساتسفاكشن. فاول واحد درسنا واول واحد ذكر اللي هو الايج. يا ترى هل في علاقه بين الايج وبين الجوب ساتسفاكشن؟ وجدنا في الدراسات او في الكتب التي تحدثت عن الجوب ساتسفاكشن انه الايج له حقيقه بوزيتيف امباكت على الجوب ساتسفاكشن. الواحد لما كل ما يتقدم بالعمر كل ما زادت عنده الاكسبيرينس، لما تزيد عنده الاكسبيرينس بزيد عنده الساتسفاكشن. ايضا خلينا عند I want to keep in mind that انه لما تكون في experience we are talking about more salary او more money to put in the pocket. The second one, gender. There is no correlation or there is no relation either male or female. It's actually there is no impact on the job satisfaction. Education. الإديوكيشن هون نقطة مهمة جدا، انه كل ما زاد واحد الإديوكيشن اللي عنده كل ما قلت عنده الجوب ساتسفاكشن. ليش؟ لأنه توقعاته بتصير أكثر، هو بده أشياء تشالنجينج أكثر. الاكسبيرينس حكينا انه كل ما زادت الاكسبيرينس كل ما انه زاد الجوب ساتسفاكشن. ليش؟ لانه بصير عنده ستاتس اكثر، ممكن ترفع له مدير، ممكن ترفع له سوبرفايزر، ايضا بصير عنده البيمنت اكثر. طبعا هذه النقاط اللي شايفينها هذه كلها اخذناها بعين الاعتبار في الكويشنير اللي بعثناه حتى يتعبى عن طريق الفارماسيست امبلويز. الاتشيفمنت طبعا لما الواحد يكون عنده اتشيفمنت هي فيل ذات هيز بينج وورثي، انه واحد عمل شغله يعني والله انا معناته محلي كويس او مكاني موهوب في الصيدليه، كوني بعمل اشياء الناس بيحكوا عنها. التايب 4 يا ترى شو تايب ورك؟ هل هو روتيني بشكل يعني يومي نفس الشيء ولا في عمليات تجريبيه ولا في تشالنجز في اشياء كثيره؟ فطبعا الروتين تايب ورك از نوت it has negative impact on job satisfaction، بس العمل المتجدد اليومي فيه له بوزيتيف امباكت. الشيء الاخر اللي هو الستاتس، طبعا معروف ان المدراء دائما وابدا مبسوطين اكثر من الناس العاديين، السينيورتي اللي كل واحد زاد الخبره تبعته.